What's up, world? Andy tuning in one more time, and kind of want to make another video about this book I've been rereading. And when I say rereading, I've been reading this book over the past few years, back and forth, and it's basically every time I want to prep for a liver flush. I did post, I guess, part one of the video a few days ago, and today I just want to get into what I find more specifically interesting about this book. Now, Andres Moritz, the author, the way he goes into the book is so interesting. At least that's how I find it, and the way he breaks down information, and it's pretty not monotonous, but you can tell he's highlighting a certain type of themes and certain facts that it's present in each part. So one of the most interesting things I find is before the actual breakdown of the liver cleanse, he goes into like disorders of the urinary system, and he goes disorders of the skin system, of the nervous system, of reproductive system, joints, disorders of the joints, the bones, almost every system of the body. And I find it so interesting because he opens up and basically every little section and subsection talks about the liver being blocked, or no, the bile ducts in the liver being blocked by gallbladder stones or intrahepatic stones. And it's a major theme that I'm seeing again, and it's reminding me to, obviously do the flush, but to remain healthy, and to realize and appreciate that our bile production and our bile secretion into the small intestine and larger intestine is so crucial to our health, and not just in breaking down of food physically and chemically in our digestive tract, but also the absorption of nutrients, the excretion of waste. And if the waste doesn't get excreted correctly in the amounts it's supposed to be done, it gets put back into the blood, it gets put back into certain organs and muscle tissues, and gets blocked up like in our blood vessels. I find it so interesting. That's how our body maintains health, especially when we're unhealthy and we live and eat unhealthy diets and foods. But I really want to get into the urinary system. The urinary system talks about the kidneys and how like flushing the liver, and also getting rid of kidney stones through certain herbs. Might go into that later. But the reason why I find this so interesting, because the liver is an organ that even if you treat it bad and you misuse it over the span of years, the course of time, it can regenerate. It's an organ that can take damage and repair itself. But the kidney is unlike the liver. The kidney is, you got two and that's it. And two things that I want to talk about kidneys. In my experience that I've seen and lived through, one of my parents used to take care of a lady with kidney problems, and she would go through dialysis maybe 2 or 3 times a week. And just my parent describing to me the process, and her observing this person, this lady in her, I think, late 50s, early 60s, having her blood filtered through the system and put back into her body for her just to live. So basically this lady was kind of a robot. And not just this lady, there's millions of people across this nation and across the world that gets dialysis done on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. And it's an ugly thing, the way she described it, how they're so weak, and without this machine they wouldn't live, and toxins would accumulate to a point where you go into shock and you pass away. And so going through that experience, our diets were changed just by realizing that that's something that's going on in the world, and we don't realize until someone close to us is affected by these things, by these diseases and afflictions in life. And another thing, I'm a big proponent and fan of hip hop. One of my favorite hip hop artists or rappers, Brad Jordan, or commonly known as Scarface, of the Ghetto Boys, recently had a kidney implant. Now he has 3. And on the Ghetto Boys Reloaded podcast, him, Willie D, and Scarface or Brad's son had a podcast, and they sat down, and I thought it was so eye opening to me because I realized that the kidney is not something to be played with. You know, we don't realize until we're older or we see someone that we know and love go through it. But seeing that podcast really opened my eyes that, you know, I don't want to go through that. You know, so I stay hydrated. You know, I'm not lying. I got a little chlorophyll with water just to stay hydrated. You know, and I don't want to see others to go through that. That's why, you know, I'm making these videos and I'm preparing myself for a liver cleanse. And if that means abstaining from alcohol, you know, I already don't eat animal flesh, so I don't. But if you do, I highly recommend and on not eating so much animal flesh. And, you know, if not this liver cleanse, you know, stay healthy, stay hydrated. You know, I've been drinking this tea, this kidney flush, liver flush with I believe milk thistle. What is it? Some type of root. I forget the root. It's a Asteraceae genus, the root of that, and I'm finding that when I, you know, don't mean to be graphic, but when I urinate, when I excrete, you know, urine, I'm seeing that it's different. You know, each time I every week, every day that goes by, I stay hydrated. It's different. Before, it was looking different. I could see like little particles and crystals. I'm like, wow, is that really what I'm doing? And you know, also just my own little things that I'm working on. You know, I'm not perfect. You know, I'll be the first one to show. I got acne, and it talks about the disease of the skin. Just to show y'all. That's where I'm at right now. I'm reading the book again, and it says disorders of the skin, and it talks about eczema, acne, and I've been fighting acne all my life. And so, part of this flush is again to get back to neutral, to health, and that's where I want to take it, man. Slowly by slowly, I'm still taking my time with the apple juices and staying healthy. You know, right now I'm not running right now. I had a little run into my old past injury in my ankle, so I'm not doing as much cardio, but I'm making sure I get some type of workout. You know, staying active, staying on my toes. So I'll make sure I cut it off at that. And you know, I really wish y'all would read this book or read so many sources that I want to get into and share with y'all some new stuff that I haven't read, so I don't have to reread a book, which is still interesting, but it gets a little boring after a while. So with that, y'all, it's Andy tuning in one more time. I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all take care. Peace.